Darian, what do you want to win?
Oh.
Darian, what do you want to win?
They're
I'm going to ask
also
you
an
a third
Italian
time.
team. Offside or onside?
Do I have a whistle?
You can
I
off with
don't
your
have a
whistle. You
whistle.
lost the whistle.
Okay, that's it.
wanna-
Now you're done. See?
I feel like I should
No.
get my whistle privileges
Nope.
back.
No.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Elisha back again with another episode of Through Ball. And I'm not just here by myself. As always, the best co-host anyone could ask for. To my left, Kaylin Kai. To my right, Darian Jenkins. We're back with another episode. We're so happy to see you guys. Thank you again for spending your valuable time with us, joining us here to talk footy. Got a lot coming up. We have a lot that happened last week, first and foremost, but a lot more coming up. How are you guys feeling? The past, the future. There's a lot going on in football right now.
I'm feeling burnt. I
Okay.
look like the color of your jacket. It's starting to get warm here in Jersey, and I was gardening. Yes, I'm aging myself the other day, and I am red. Like, I am lobster red. So,
What are you gardening?
flowers, trying to make my backyard look nice. This is what you do when you get older. You guys have years to come.
You have
but-
space. I love that. I'm in a crunched New York building,
Right?
so I love this. I'm feeling good. I feel like this is one of the most exciting
Yeah.
times that we've had
Yeah.
going into the end of the season in
Mhm.
every single league. So I love it. I'm here for the drama.
Listen, man, whether it's the Champions League, men and women's Champions League, the FA Cup semifinals is coming up. There's just a lot going on. Let's get to it. This, as you know, is VAR, where we roll back the clock a little bit and talk about some of our favorite. You like that? You like that? That was good, right? That was good. That was right off the dome. I don't know how I do it. I just do. Roll back the clock and talk about, some of our favorite moments from this past week. This week we started with Kaylin last week. So Darian,
You can
I'ma
call me
go over
Kay.
to
I
you.
don't mind you calling me Kay. I
It's
like
cool.
it.
I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
it's
didn't-
super cool. We're on
I was
those
trying to-
like that
you know
nickname
what I'm saying?
basis.
Like, we're there
now.
now.
Yeah,
We're there.
now.
We're K now.
Everyone calls me D as well.
All right,
so
D.
DK.
Oh, I like
I like
that.
that.
E.
Oh.
DKE.
Hey.
Like it.
Okay, I'll kick us off. So we know that there's been a lot of talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Where is he going? How to Madrid? Maybe. Is he staying? Who knows? He's been out with injuries since early March, but he comes into his first match since March. 5 minutes in, scores a banger to give Liverpool the win over Leicester. And it was iconic, the aura. But the biggest part to me was his celebration.
Yeah.
Taking his shirt off, running over to the fans, shouting into the deep red corner with everybody that came to support away at Leicester, and then hanging his jersey up on the flagpole.
Does that mean he's like hanging it up for good, or he's like hanging it up just for like the end of the season?
No,
He's
not for
coming
good.
back.
That's
No,
what
that's
I
what
want
I'm
to ask
saying.
you guys, because when I saw that, I thought, wow, this is a moment where he's honoring the
Iconic.
fans.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
iconic. This is 350th game. 5 minutes in, he comes back from injury, scores a banger, gives them the win, and then he goes and celebrates. And there's been so much backlash of even the thought of him going to Madrid and all of the talk about it, even from his own fan base with Liverpool, his boyhood club. But to go do that, just that's what the game's about.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgotten about that
Yeah.
and just wants to honor him. So that's what came off to me, but I want to know y'all's thoughts.
I mean, Darren, I think there's like when we talk about Liverpool, whether it's Mo Salah or Trent, it's like the abs. I feel like this comes out from our conversation with you.
Flex on 'em.
There's nothing wrong with it. But I love it. When you see a player, you've been out with injury, it's your boyhood club, you've kind of gotten the back end of it where your fans are giving you a little bit more stick instead of praising all the good that you've done with the club.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Short memory.
Yeah, you want, and
Very.
fans do have short memory. I have short memory when it comes to things that, you love. You're just like, oh, because you want it to stay. You want good things to stay in your life that make it positive. And I think that for me is like, it's almost like a full circle effect where it's like you've grown up through the academy, you've gone through the first team, and to then come back after kind of being, criticized from pundits over there, from fan bases over there, to be like, you know what? I still love this club. Like, this club is always going to hold a place in my heart. It's still a club where 10, 20 years from now, when I have my grandkids, you're still going to be talking about it, that this is why it's the player that you are. You grew up in the backfields in Liverpool. It's not an easy place to come out, and you've grinded into the first team. And Liverpool are some of the best fans in the world. The Scousers, the accents, everything about it breathes, lives football. And it's no disrespect to any other clubs in English football, because I've been there. I've married into the Everton family where, like, are you blue? Are you red? I understand it, but it's a very cool moment for still a young player. And obviously when And if he does go to Real Madrid, it's one of those clubs where it's like, it's same with Darian, you. Like, if you want to go to the top club in the world, you're going to sign the contract with Real Madrid. And it's no disrespect to Liverpool. Yeah. Yes.
I think that what makes this sport so great is how radical and how passionate the fans get sometimes. And I don't think football would be at the magnitude that it is right now in the world if it wasn't for that type of energy. But I do think that oftentimes the business kind of tends to burst the fans' bubble. It's like,
it's the worst part. It's
like you said, like you want to hold on to the things that you love the most, but oftentimes you get reminded that this is a business, and it's also, there's personal goals and aspirations that these athletes have. And sometimes it's not to be a one club player, you know, sometimes they just want to go to the best teams, you know, that's available to them. And I think that's what's happened. I do think that Trent is going to go, but this was a statement of like, yo, I love this club. This is
honoring
what
the fans,
made me,
the club.
And I've given so much to you guys. It's like, if I leave now, it's for the remainder of the time that I'm going to be at this club, I'm going to give my best.
Remember when we were talking about, like, do you drop a player like him knowing that he's going to leave? And we're like, no. Do you remember that? I think it was like episode 1 of Through Ball, and we're like, hell no. Like, so then do that. I mean, we're wearing red for all the right reasons today.
What?
But,
hey.
Yeah. Oh, Darian.
I did a little something. I want to be in.
You're in, Darian. It's a bit maroon, but we're going to let you in. We're going to let you in. What's your VAR of the
My VAR moment, and yes, you're not having flashbacks. This isn't a That's So Raven moment where you're having a vision of like the past.
By the way, great show.
Great show.
Great show.
Merci du Monet. Like, come on, the 21-year-old superstar. Number one contender for me right now for the Ballon d'Or. Melchi, I do think if she continues with the trajectory that, you know, she's on right now, the path that she's on, she's going to win the Ballon d'Or. First black woman to win the Ballon d'Or, hopefully, potentially.
Crazy,
I'm rooting for it. Asisat, former Barca baller. You know, it's only right.
Nigerian standout.
Come on now. She almost won it a few years ago, but listen, Messi has some tough competition, but she's showing up every game. She won. She scored the winner for Lyon against Arsenal in the first leg of the Women's Champions League semifinal. Barca got the win too against Chelsea. So right now, again, the competition is stiff, but she's showing up week in and week out. She's young, so she has time too, but this season could really be the one for her.
The fact that Melchi Dumonet stands out against Tabitha Schwinga, Diani, Hegerberg, Lusamer, Majri.
Yes.
She's the best player on the pitch, the 10 all across the front line. She's small as like, she is such a baller though. She's what kids should aspire to play like.
What makes her so good?
The fluidity of which she plays with her strengths. She's super technical. I think she finds like weaknesses in whoever she's going against and exploits it. And it's not just a selfish type of play.
Yeah.
She sets everyone else up for success. She makes everybody around her look better. Yeah. So she's one of those players that I'm like, you're that young and you look like this now?
Yeah. She's very explosive.
Can you imagine being nominated for a Ballon d'Or?
No, I wouldn't even like understand.
And I'm not being disrespectful to me or you, but can you genuinely, because men's football, like, it's different than women's football. Women's football, we played where there was like no money, where the training facilities were crap. Like,
you were on a baseball field a lot of the time.
You know, sitting middle seat, going 6 hours on a flight with a connection in Kansas City. It's different.
I sit in economy in the middle seat.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with economy. I still fly economy when I'm with my family because you know what? I like spending money on my vacation with my margaritas. But I will, we'll just edit that out. And I know the money's changed in women's football. It's still not there yet. And some of the training facilities and some of the training grounds aren't there yet. But it is really cool when you do look at the growth of women's football. Like, I'm so jealous, but I'm also so proud and excited because not saying that we were like the game changers in that, but we helped lay the foundation.
Where it's built on our shoulders.
Yeah,
players like us.
And I love that. And obviously I don't have girls. I have 2 baby boys. So if they do ever play professional sports, they're not going to have to go through the grind of what women's athletes have to do. But it's just so cool seeing women break down barriers in the Champions League and their clubs and the respective clubs and coming from countries where, you know, they weren't given a lot.
Very limited.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Ballon d'Or for Messi.
Have you slipped into the DMs of the agent yet? We need her on the show.
We got it. We're trying to make it happen.
Tag.
Melchi will be on Through Ball. Well, Melchi will be on Through Ball. Comment. Listen. Tag her. Pull up for us. You know what I'm saying? Just put in a good word. Go to her DMs, her agents, whoever, the Lyon page. Like, Get Melshi on through ball. We need her.
Speaking of pulling up.
Absolutely need her.
Speaking of pulling up,
Yes.
I feel like our show, I know it's very young. This is only episode 6, but any time that we have had a person on that's currently in football, they show up that week. So I'm just saying, if you're struggling, if you're down in the dumps, you got a Champions League final, come on through. Because my VAR this week is Christian Roldan from the Seattle Sounders. We had him on episode 5, and he was just
The
such
real
like a,
CR7.
Yeah, the real CR7. He was just such a like cool, calm, collected guy. I think he had a baby 9 months ago, and it's just like changed his whole life perspective of how he's played. And then the Seattle Sounders, they started the season off really slow, and I feel like it's like the 2024 season where they had a lot of key injuries last year. The same situation coming into this year. Who was going to be their starting number 9? Then they signed Jesus Ferreira, this young and up-and-comer. Is he part of the U.S. men's national team? Isn't he? Is he FC Dallas's star player? Gets transferred to Seattle Sounders, and he's really struggled. Gets a brace on the weekend, 3-0 performance over Nashville, back-to-back wins. And I feel like it's almost like a rinse and repeat of what we saw the Seattle Sounders last year. Started off really slow and then like found fire midway through the season and was one of those teams. And a lot of the guys on MLS 360, like Bradley Wright Phillips, Sasha Klesch, and Dax McCarty were like, Seattle Sounders is one of the most deepest teams in Major League Soccer. And I didn't see it. And then I kind of saw glimpses of it against Nashville. Obviously, Nashville didn't have Walker Zimmerman. It's what Brian Schmetzer has done with this team. It's like a team where I'm like, you're in 8th, but you shouldn't be.
MLS to me is like, it's such a
It's
long
wild
season. And I never really know who's doing what until like the really late stage. So it seems like everybody makes it into playoffs, but then certain teams peaked way too early. And then Seattle's one of those teams that you always kind of see that come out on top. Whether how far they make it, I don't know. But they always seem to peak at the right time going into playoffs.
Charlotte's first in the East. Let me put that in like perspective right now. And Dean Smith, I love Dean Smith. We had him on MLS Countdown, and he is one of my favorite coaches. Man. But like MLS is wild, and I think this is what makes this professional league so exciting because it's not like CDA, the EPL, or any of these leagues where you kind of know you're 1 through 5. You genuinely don't. Like we do these preseason predictions, and we look like a-holes halfway through the season because we're like Charlotte in 15th position. I beat that out. I'm so sorry, Eric. But like, you genuinely don't know where teams are going to end. LA Galaxy, the reigning MLS Cup champs, they're currently sitting with no wins. Right? They're bottom of the table in the Western Conference. I'm heated. I'm sorry. I'm
LA
heated.
Galaxy. Do
you have anything to say, Elijah, about LA Galaxy?
You know, I am a firm believer in.
Run the tapes back. You said the LA Galaxy would make the playoffs. Do you still believe in that? Because they're still one of, I think, 3 teams now with no wins here in Major League. Actually, no, 2. Because Toronto just did get their first win.
Brutal. Okay. First of all,
Toronto is getting a win over Galaxy.
First of all I'm saying is that you can't confirm that was me who said that. Okay, in the age of AI, you got to fact check. Secondly, all LA Galaxy really need to do have the manager or one of the LA Galaxy players pull up on through ball. You know what I think? Now, I'm not saying for LA Galaxy to get rid of their manager, but what I saw from Côte d'Ivoire and AFCON last year could be the same thing. In football, you could be on the verge of getting eliminated from a competition, and then some way, somehow, you make it to the knockout stage, and then end up winning the whole thing. That could be LA Galaxy. I say if LA Galaxy miraculously somehow
MLS
can make it to the playoff,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And I'm here for it.
We do need to run it back that you were so keen that they were going to make
it.
Put it in the top corner.
This is Onside or Offside. This is where I present a take. Sometimes it's my take. Sometimes a take found on the internet. Most of the time, it's from the twisted mind of our producer, Eric. But where I will present the take, like and Caitlin and Darian will tell me.
Eric catching strays for no reason.
You guys will tell me if I'm onside or offside. And
you're offside for the Eric take, our producer. You need to apologize now.
No, the twisted mind is good. I appreciate it. It makes through ball what it is. You know, all of us are kind of sick in the head in some weird way. But first take, y'all don't see what happens outside of the cameras. First take is obviously one of the greatest, arguably the greatest player of all time. Cristiano Ronaldo has said he's not aiming for 1,000 goals, but I do believe he's going to shatter that onside or offside.
Offside. It's Ronaldo. Yeah. He's probably going to go, you know what, I'm going to go 1,250 goals. It's not my goal, but
goals.
he's there's no way he's gonna
goals.
retire after hitting 1,000.
First of all, there
is no way.
He keeps saying that he's not really looking to do it, whatever. This politically correct media training. We know you want 1,000 goals. We know he's gunning for Pele too. He threw a little shade to Pele. I didn't like that when during his appearance on Rio Ferdinand's podcast.
What'd he say?
He was saying basically that like, look, I may not have the certain amount of goals that a certain somebody has, but at least all of mine are on camera. And it wasn't like my goals.
But is he
like
wrong,
we're not
though?
counting like practice goals.
Is he wrong?
Still though, it's the decorum. Like damn.
I don't think it was disrespect to him. It's the truth.
I don't know.
Sometimes
he likes to
games
throw
are
a little shade.
televised.
He likes to throw a little shade.
Onside or offside?
I don't mind it.
I am going offside. I think with Cristiano Ronaldo, you know what he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He wants the best. He wants to be the best, and he wants to break all the records, whether he's gonna admit it or not. In the back of his mind, he's still fighting against Lionel Messi to be the world's best player and the world's GOAT. What I will say, though, when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, I'm going to say in this era of players, we're so lucky that we grew up in this era of players where we got to see two amazing world-class players. Very different, though. Like, very, very different. Cristiano Ronaldo, a world-class goal scorer. Lionel Messi, for me, is a world-class all-around player.
Now, next up, obviously, we cover a lot of leagues on Through Ball. Club World Cup this summer. We got Serie A, La Liga, MLS. However, the Premier League, I don't know, hasn't been living up all the way to its name for me this season. I think my take is this has been, in comparison to the other leagues, this has been the least exciting Premier League season for me as of late. Onside or offside?
I'm going offside for this. I look at the Prem, and I think the last few seasons it's been, Man City. They've run away with it. They won the treble last year, and I think, which it was exciting because you have a team that was fantastic from defense to offense, and it made it incredible. But this year you have Nottingham Forest making the Champions League. You have Newcastle that's been super exciting. You have Liverpool. Yes, they're going to win it, but you have so many teams that's different, which I think makes the Premier League exciting this season. It's not. This goes back to my point with Major League Soccer. What makes Major League Soccer so exciting? You don't know who's going to be in the top 5 from the west to the east, whereas the Prem, you kind of always know.
I think in proximity, I think it is also, maybe I have the proximity bias, maybe in comparison to the other leagues also, it just seems a bit less exciting. I think when Man City was running away with it early and we knew, okay, Man City's going to win the league 1 time, 2 times, whatever, back to back.
But what makes that exciting?
It just felt
what
like
makes that exciting?
Because of no, but the caliber of team that they were still made. So you're saying made it worthwhile, and a lot of people were just saying
Nottingham Forest has caliber.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. One, I'm saying that in proximity to, in comparison to the other leagues, is definitely not as exciting as it's been for the past 10 years.
So I'm
let
gonna
me
go
know.
offside.
And let me know if I'm bugging. Are you guys onside or offside?
You are tripping.
You're tripping.
Let me know. No, I don't know. I haven't been enjoying it this season as much.
I love this year because it's unpredictable. I mean, United's in
Liverpool's gonna win
place right now.
United's been
Arsenal's been a hit or
horrible
miss
for years.
Nottingham Forest has been balling out. Okay. Newcastle with Alexander Isak have been balling out. Like I love the unpredictability of it, and I think there's been so much competition. It's showing the growth of the league. I'm here for it. Is it as electric as La Liga and Serie A? Maybe not.
You know that whenever you pull out the Nottingham and Newcastle card, that I can't really argue against that. But that's really the only thing.
3 teams are like battling for top spot.
Don't do that. You see Anthony at Real Betis. Coming from the Premier League.
Yeah, but
being poisoned by Manchester United and then coming up.
Everyone that has left United has been balling out. Yeah, they've been sick.
Listen, all I'm saying, a teenage Lamine Yamal, like this. Come on now.
Who else can you talk about in La Liga? That's other. Okay, Betis is not a bad team. So yes, they brought in Anthony and he's done fantastic. But who else can you from Real Betis, from Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid? Who else are you going to throw into that mix?
Borja Iglesias playing for Celta Vigo. He just gave us a 3-piece McNugget just this past weekend. And Rafinha had to pull a goal out of the depth of his Brazilian soul to get us that win.
No.
Come on now.
Nico Williams is another one too to shout out. But
we're not speaking about players though. We're speaking about teams.
I get it.
Players make up the team.
We're not the teams for sure.
It's not as electric, but it's still good. The unpredictability is what has made it good.
I somewhat agree.
Do you agree? Are you offside or onside? With your take.
with yourself.
Flag stays down. All right, and speaking of all these European competitions recently, especially after the performance they had last week against Lyon in the Europa League and Manchester United, but Amorim came out and said that they're going to play the kids now. They're going to play the young boys.
He said, I've seen enough.
And obviously, yeah, they know their position right now in the Premier League, but there's still very much a chance for them to win the Europa League, and it seems like the odds are in their favor right now. Like the football script writers are pulling for United. So should teams, when they know that there's not much that they can do in their domestic leagues, should they just take a step back and focus solely on the cups, or like for European teams, for Champions League, Europa League? Should they just kind of tank their domestic leagues and focus on those other competitions?
Your take is they should?
They should.
I'm onside.
I'm off.
Ooh, Darian, go ahead.
Why would you succumb to that?
I'm
Why
not-
would you admit defeat? Who's playing the
great
game?
word.
Who's playing the game to think, you know what? Screw the regular season. Let's just focus on the tournament. You have to be competitive in every single match, whether it's developing using Ruben Amorim as the example, developing your youth, put them against the competition that you're going to face week in, week out during the season. What I do not understand signing up to play professional football.
Paint it
and saying, you know what, I'm going to...
It's different, though, at this point
cut
of
our
the
losses.
league. 100%. If this is at the beginning of the year and this is what a coach is saying, then I'm like, you are completely offside. This is absolutely mental. This is not what you sign up to be a manager of football. But at this point of the league, when you know your team isn't going to be a top 4 team.
Like you're not relegated, you're not going to win.
Exactly. You're not going anywhere. You're that middle of the group table. 100%, I am putting all my eggs in one basket if I can be a European spot, whether that be Europa League or whether that get me a spot into the Champions League final, because at least you're getting something. You're not getting anything about being a middle of the team table in the Prem, in La Liga, in Ligue 1. That's not getting you anything. That's not getting you promotion. That's not getting you relegation. That's not getting you a bump in your contract.
It's the pride to me. It's the
for
pride
sure.
to
But
me.
if you're a player, it's pride.
But can I ask you this?
You're going to the Europa League. You're going to the
competition
Champions
that
League.
next year you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
But can I ask you this, though?
Try our best to get
what about
on.
the pride at the end of the season of having a trophy?
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the season, if you win the trophy, the fans are going to be like, you know what?
They don't care about
I'm
me.
okay
It depends
that
on
y'all-
the team. It depends on the team with that. Because I think if Real Madrid wins
true,
Copa
of
del Rey,
course.
it really doesn't matter.
But Real
at the end of the
Madrid
year.
are also not going to be in this position to where they
they're
have
not.
to.
They have deep pockets and a deep bench. It's
Keeping
different.
the example of a United, to
Yeah.
me, the pride of the club, what they stand for, what you sign up for this club.
I'm just saying,
What-
if you're
like,
you're
how
not
as a professional
no.
at wearing
I feel you.
No, if you're
I
no,
get
you
it,
don't.
but
If you're a United
I get
fan
it.
right now,
succumb
you
to
were
just
about
say-
to be relegated if it wasn't for Fernandes. And the fact that you're doing so well in the Europa League, that is the only positive that United will see in the next the previous 3 years and coming into this year. So that's something that you can build momentum on heading into 2026. It could be a
let's get
turning
what we
point for
could get.
Manchester United, but it's
I get
also
that, but
they need to bring in better players.
let us know how y'all feel in the comments,
them know
man.
that they're-
Especially
let
from
them
the
know
Man,
that they're crazy.
especially
This
the
is
Man
wild.
United fans. Let us know.
Sunheart's going more red.
All right, this is the segment where we give our flowers, right? It's tulip season right now. Spring is starting, so we like to give our flowers to some players,
you know
man.
that?
Or come on now, I know a bit about flowers. Fun fact: my mom loves plants and flowers, so I
does
grew up
Caleb.
loving flowers.
So do
too.
I.
Yeah,
My
there you
shoulders
go.
can tell you all about that.
But this is where we give, our favorite people from the past week their flowers, their moment to shine, and just a bit of recognition if they haven't gotten it already. Darian, who you giving your flowers to?
I would love to give my flowers to another player who is thriving since leaving Manchester United. Scott McTominay, Scottish international.
Yeah.
He's balled out with Napoli.
Yeah.
He's got 9 goals, 2 assists on the year, which is tying Marek Hamsik with their debut season with Napoli. And he has just balled out in that 8 position. He just got a game winner this last weekend. And he's just been thriving since leaving United. He's even done interviews where he talks about he loves the culture, he loves the fans.
Yeah.
Fans have joked about erecting a statue of him already in
Damn.
Napoli. Yeah, which is crazy. So I wanted to give him a shout out because I've just loved watching his game. He looks like he's back to that youthful player that came in with energy, that knew that they were going to score. And especially when Lukaku's not showing up, which he's been fairly inconsistent. McTominay has been someone that Napoli can rely on.
Shout out to McTominay. Shout out to Napoli too. And also,
Yeah, tied with Inter right now.
I don't know. I have a special soft spot for Lukaku, and I gotta say,
I love Lukaku too.
still being inconsistent, still 12 goals so far this season,
Yeah.
and I don't know, still
his
top 10
expectation is
scorers
so
in
high.
Serie A. Yeah.
We expect so much from him, and he doesn't always live up to it.
Yeah.
And he should. I mean, look at him. He should play in the NFL, and he plays in Serie A.
What position would he be if he was in the NFL?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know NFL like that.
Receiver? Wide
Maybe?
receiver?
It's a good thing we cover soccer.
Look, I know Tom Brady.
Let's skip through.
I know a few other guys. I know Chad Ochocinco. Shout out Ocho. But
all right, I'm going to move on.
Yeah,
I'm going to
please
move
take
us
it
on.
Kayla, who's your-
Tyreek George from Chelsea.
Tyreek.
He has been
Young boy.
unbelievable. 19 years old. First and foremost, before I even dive into it, what were you two doing at 19?
Trying not to freak out about the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. So, yeah. And he's 19
scoring
and
Conference
going
League
crazy.
goals,
Yeah.
and then just scoring a goal, the first goal for in the 2-1 win over Fulham with Chelsea. I mean, at 19 years old, to be able to have the confidence in which he does, like, I feel like at 19, I want to say, you know, I was getting into mischief. I wasn't. Like, I was with the national team at a really young age. Thankfully, obviously, my dad played professional hockey, so he kind of, like, taught me what I needed to do in order to be successful in sport.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to miss it on the birthdays. I have to miss it on my graduation. And, like, me at that moment, I was like, okay, it's not, like, I was, like, sad, but, like, not upset about it. I was kind of like a loser not a loser. I wasn't the cool kids growing up, as you would say. But seeing a 19-year-old play for Chelsea, to be able to make an impact in one of the best leagues in the world, especially at one of the best clubs in the world that's so world
Even
renowned.
getting minutes.
Thank you.
is
Even
crazy.
minutes. And what he's
Let
doing
alone
with those
scoring.
minutes,
Mm-hmm.
well
incredible.
done.
I love the youth takeover that we're seeing on the men's and women's side.
Mhm.
Like, it just keeps, I mean, Gotham on the women's side just signed a 14-year-old to a professional
Sorry,
contract
what?
who's getting minutes.
Yeah.
14 years
What
old.
grade are you when you're 14?
Yeah.
I don't even know. But
That's ninth,
imagine
grade
being
nine,
grade,
that
yeah.
technically gifted, that young, to
Yeah.
be able to physically compete as well.
No.
I mean, Lamine Yamal's another player, too, that you look
But
at and you're
14,
like,
do you find that too young,
damn.
though? I feel like that's young.
I feel like this could be its own segment because, yeah, you're
Here,
still
we got-
still figuring you're still
Yeah.
growing. Like,
Yeah.
I remember
Like, if
being
I'm
14
a mom or dad,
and I
I'm
woke
like,
up,
I don't
my
want my
kneecaps hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, my feet grew 2 sizes. Like, we learned
I had
how to
shin
kick a
splints.
ball.
Are those even a thing
Yeah, I had
now?
Oshkin slaughters. Remember when that was a big deal and everyone
I don't
had like
know
the
what-
things? I had those at one point.
I don't know what these young kids are being fed nowadays,
Right?
but
They don't
it's
look
crazy.
young
It's-
anymore.
It's
Yeah,
it's
no.
insane. Like, I remember a time
they
where
don't play like it.
I remember a time where being 18, 19-year-old, a professional even, and getting a chance
No.
was a huge deal. Nowadays, it's happening
common.
like that. Even
If
the
you
kid
don't have
from
like 3 of them on your team, it's like,
It's
are
crazy.
you developing?
crazy though. It's getting younger and younger and younger. But on the other side, a bit more seasoned, as much as he's not really old, but Rafinha is my player this week.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
That, of course,
Would it
you
be
know, who
anybody
else would it
else?
be? Who else would it be? Rafinha. I've learned
Yeah,
the R is
that's
more
Rafinha,
like
yeah.
an
Yeah.
H, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
See, we learned a little Portuguese. Obrigado. Yeah.
Bye.
But
You're an idiot.
Rafinha scored 2 goals in an amazing comeback versus Celta Vigo this weekend for Barcelona in La Liga. Down 3-1 at the 60th minute, and
Yo.
somehow
Crazy.
we pulled it from deep down the depths of Jogo Bonito, and he got those 2 goals, and the last one was a penalty. But again, that boy Borja Iglesias, man, wherever he goes, he's a marksman.
The
He's
panda.
Killing
oh
it.
my
Panda.
God,
Mhm.
he's just a killer. But yeah,
Are Barcelona putting themselves in such bad positions defensively where they have to have a wonder game like a Rafinha or Lamine
you
Yamal coming off? Like,
I mean, you
They-
need those
they're
games
put-
though
Yeah,
to
but
win the season.
yeah.
Like those, like you.
I look at the games
they've
where
It's
like
gonna
Real-
happen.
Real Madrid or Man City. It's always like one player that puts their team on their back. That's what makes good players great, and that's what makes good teams great. It's like you always have the hero and the villain within those big games. It doesn't matter what league you're in. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like the hero always steps up in the wildest ways.
All right. As always, this is your captain speaking. Everybody, please fasten your seatbelts and get ready for takeoff. Today, we're going around the world. We're making many stops. Don't complain. Use the bathroom before
Why is
we
your
take
voice
off.
so sensual when you're
Because
saying that? Like,
it's
strap
my,
in. We're going around the world.
Listen, man, I want to make sure that
No
all
one's
our-
getting
You don't
on
even
that
have
flight.
fuel.
Yeah.
all our freaking
You don't
flyers,
have food.
our
You don't have drinks.
special shout out to our platinum members. We appreciate you. Yeah. But yes, we're taking our first stop. We're going to take a little stop in Europe real quick and talk about the European Golden Boot. And speaking of overall goal contributions right now, as it stands, Mo Salah is first, Victor Gyökeres is second, and Robert Lewandowski is third. How do we see that changing? Is it staying the same? Is Mo Salah going to win the Golden Boot, Lewandowski, Gyökeres? How are we feeling about the race so far?
Well, Lewandowski injured, so I think that one kind of tells the story, which is unfortunate because I think he was on form to potentially, make a push for it. But if you look at Mo Salah and you look at everything, I'm kind of like a prisoner to Mo Salah in the way how everything's gone for him this season, how Liverpool's doing. You know, you're top of the table, you were fighting for a new contract, you finally got it, and you're playing in the top team. And top league in the world where it's difficult to get goal contributions and goals, and not taking anything or any disrespect to the Portuguese league. But it's a very difficult league in which he has had to do it under the certain circumstances of which he has done it in, and he's done it classy from start to end, whether it's contract, whether it's goal contributions, and the ability to do it year after year after year, whether it's assists or whether it's goals. He has been the most consistent player in Europe to do so.
Right now, Salah also not having to worry about the Champions League means he has free range to continue to, score in the Premier League. So there's a lot less pressure for him. And it's not like he doesn't perform under pressure anyways. He's been getting the goals still, but...
Yeah, he's been balling. I'm a really big fan of Victor Gyökeres, though. I love his celebration, the Bane... The hands over the face, I love it. But he's playing for a team where he's the 9. Yeah. He's not going to contribute as much as a Mo Salah, who has a little bit more flexibility on the wing. He has other people that are going to score a crazy amount of goals, for sure. Mo Salah, yes, MVP. But yeah, I love Victor Gyökeres. I think he's been killing it with Sporting CP.
So no
argument.
Lewandowski.
He's just injured.
He's injured, so it's different.
I mean, we've given him his flowers. He's incredible, but he's out. So
Bobby, Robert, please come back soon, heal up, rest up, and show him what we do. With that being said, we staying in Europe. Okay, we don't need to fly over yet anywhere else. Okay,
Thank
so y'all can
God.
go and stretch your legs a little bit. We're gonna take the train over to Italia and talking about the Serie A right now. The Serie A race is coming down to the wire. Inter Milan and Napoli right now are tied at points. There's 5 matches left. Inter right now are leading in goal differentials, but
a lot.
Yeah, and they also lost this weekend 1-0 to Bologna. Bologna, who are also making a run too for top 4.
Yeah.
But again, one of the reasons why the Serie A race this season is so entertaining. You got teams. You got Bologna, Napoli, and Inter. Obviously, the race is tight,
Atalanta.
and Atalanta is making a good run too, which is putting some pressure on those top teams, but. I really see Inter winning in the end. They've been the most consistent team. Obviously, they've fallen short a few times, but I think if it comes down to it, especially if it comes down to the goal difference, then they're gonna take it. But I could easily see Napoli slipping up a little bit and then Inter running with it.
Napoli's had their ups and downs throughout the season for sure, but Inter are also trying to manage Champions League. They're trying to manage Marcus Thuram getting back healthy, Martinez staying healthy. That's a lot of your key players that you need to manage minutes going from Serie A to Champions League, where you have to play the best of the best, however long that you can.
It comes down to our point earlier, is where do you put your focus on as a team? And when you look at Inter, it's an older team. So you have to manage your older players in the minutes in which they can play because the legs start to get heavy. And, I was giving Darian crap, you don't throw away the league. If you're Inter, throw away the league. You focus yourself on the Champions League right now. You do of how far they've come and what they can do in the Champions League. I mean, they can.
It's easier to say for United. For Inter, that's tough because they could genuinely win both.
But they could win both. But if you're Inter and it's between the Champions League, Darian, as a player, if it's between the Champions League and regular season, what do you want to win?
Both.
No, Darian.
Top tier team.
Darian, what do you want to win?
Both.
Darian, what do you want to win?
They're
I'm going to ask you
an Italian team.
What do you want?
Italian team.
What do you want to win?
And they're an Italian
Any
team.
player in the world, and I understand
you dream of winning a
you want
Champions
to
League.
win the Champions League.
It's not your
regular
right to play in a
season's
Champions League
always
every week.
going to
I
be
get
there.
it.
You can't say that about the Champions League. You
I get it,
cannot
but
say that about the Champions League.
I get it, but you throw.
No.
It's that point in the season where you throw everything.
Yeah.
Out.
No, you throw
It's
everything
all-
at the
it's all or
Champions League.
nothing.
You're
for
injured.
them.
Figure it out.
You
We're
throw
going to do
every-
everything possible to have you on for 90 minutes.
You guys are crazy. You guys are talking out your backsides. You throw
Nope.
everything at the Champions League.
Inter, very much, they got a lot on their plate right now, but I think they're the team to handle it. Well, still staying in Europe again. I
Love
hope you guys are enjoying your little stuff. Why do you love it?
I feel
Because we
safe.
soon
I feel
take
safe
back
because we're
off.
not going on for a long journey. Is what it means.
We soon take back off, okay? But right now we're still in Europe, previewing the Europa League semifinals, especially after an insane game. I had to check my blood pressure after that Man United Lyon game, but Manchester United will be playing Athletic Bilbao in the semifinal, and Tottenham Hotspurs. Look at Tottenham making a run for a trophy. Good for y'all.
Good for
Good
Ange.
for you, Tottenham. Good for
Good for
Ange.
Ange. He did
Yeah.
say in his second year, he always wins a trophy.
I think it's going to be an all-English
The
final. I
last
know you guys are
stand.
making fun of Tottenham right now. I think it's
No,
going to be
I'm saying-
United and Tottenham in this final. I think United could potentially go on to win the whole thing. If you're coming off the win in which they did 100%, and I
Yeah,
agree.
at this point, anything.
Again, it goes back to the point that we made earlier on. Throw away your season. You're not getting
This is what
relegated.
you guys made earlier.
Yes. Throw away your season and focus on the Europa League. For
Yeah.
Manchester United,
Yeah.
they've showed in the last match against Lyon, you have Harry Maguire that has been crucified the last 3 seasons. Like crucified.
His whole
even
time
when he
at
does
United,
right, he does
even.
wrong.
Even
and
with
the
the
fact
national team.
yeah, even with the national team, the fact that he's being able to even continue to show up for a fan group that doesn't support you to then get the game winner. You could see how much it means to him when he did like the knee slide, corner flag. I know a bunch of his family members, and I was texting them after, and I was like, congrats. And like the sister was like, it means not only so much to him, but for the family aspect of it, because at the end of the day, Harry goes home to his family. He goes home to the people that love him the most. And yes, they're on a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they're human beings. So to see that, to see how much it meant to him, and to see Manchester United, I could see Manchester United winning this whole thing.
I gotta
just-
remind y'all, they did just lose to Wolves.
Who do you have, Darian?
It's not Europa, though.
I'm actually
If
gonna
not
go
United,
with
then who?
Bilbao.
Bilbao, okay.
I'm actually gonna go with Bilbao.
Okay.
This younger team, I think they have a lot to prove. They're hungry to win this. United to me has been too inconsistent.
And now flying into a different part of the world, because I know you guys love that. Going over to the Saudi Pro League and specifically talking about Al Hilal, one of the teams that honestly very slept on this side of the world, one of the most decorated teams in that side of the world in Asia, but overall in football, playing Real Madrid this summer in the Club World Cup. Right now, they're second in the Saudi Pro League. They're getting ready to play in the quarterfinals of the AFC Champions League. A team that honestly has some ballers in it. We got the Cancelos, the Koulibalis, Malcolm, ex-Barca player who's kind of revived his career in this team and a new opportunity, which I feel like, we should be talking about Al Hilal a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we've seen it evolve. Well, we've seen it start like how the Chinese league started, but I feel like the difference is they've continued to back it up. So they've continued to bring in top players, top managers, and the fans continue to grow. But as you know, it's a very young, new league. So it takes time. So I know people are like, it's not successful. It absolutely is. Like, it's taken Major League Soccer, what are we in, our 30th year? It's our 30th year and we finally have soccer-specific, training venues, soccer-specific venues here. And obviously, we've brought in now the top players like Lionel Messi. The Saudi League has done that. You bring in Benzema, you bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. There's been so many links of managers to go over there, so many links of players to go over there. It's going to take time. And I think the most exciting thing is we sleep on these teams going into a Club World Cup because it is an unknown. It's kind of like a Major League Soccer team. If you don't watch Major League Soccer, Seattle or Inter Miami or Liga MX, if you don't know Monterrey, if you don't know these big clubs. So I'm excited for it because I feel like when you are an underdog heading into this and you don't have all the spotlight on you, you have so much to prove. And it's exciting to kind of get your name, or if you're a young player for one of these top teams in the world, to maybe be like, wow, he would fit in perfectly with our starting 11.
I think they're a sleeper team. I love this. They go in playing Real Madrid, as their opening
right off the bat
match. I mean, that's a dream to a lot of these players to go play competition like that. And we don't have a lot of expectation for them. And I think when you're a player and you go in fairly green to a massive tournament like this, you throw it all on the table. Real Madrid doesn't know what they're expecting. So then to come out and swing like that against a big team where maybe these guys dreamed of playing for one day, you had to face at a huge competition like the Club World Cup.
You have a good game and they come after you and they say, how much? We want you on our team. Like you
right? It's a massive
you're laughing though, but
opportunity.
it's the truth. I remember being a young player and you're in a national competition with the Canadian national team or the US women's national team and the U20 World Cup. You're like, okay, if I have a good game, maybe I make the full team. Maybe I get a big team over in Europe. Maybe I get a big team in the NWSL. Like that's how these young players go in, or these teams that you play in that are the unknown, is you go in with almost like a clean slate where you have so much to prove to the world, which is so freaking exciting.
All right, getting back on the plane, because you guys are having so much fun.
I can think of other places and people I'd want to be with, but I feel like I'll strap in for this.
Okay, but I think you'll enjoy this one because we make it one last stop in Mexico.
Oh, I'll definitely go to Mexico with you. Yeah.
Come on now.
It's a long flight.
I like my tequila. All right.
It's gonna be a long flight.
It's
but
another long flight.
We are talking right now about the end of Liga MX. The Clausura
it's on fire right now.
Yes, on fire. We got Juarez playing versus Pumas in the playoffs. Pachuca versus Monterrey. Two Club World Cup teams. Obviously, we got a few more weeks of the playoffs right now, and then the quarters, the semis, and the finals of the Clausura, leading into Club World Cup. So it's going to be a nice transition, especially those two teams who obviously only one of them get to move on to the next phase of the Clausura. But as you said, on fire right now, Liga MX is
on fire in their league play. They're not on fire on the CONCACAF Champions Cup, I can tell you that. Damn. Both Monterrey and Pumas getting knocked out by the Vancouver Whitecaps. But what I will say is they have class. They spend money, they put their money's where their mouth is, and they know how to show up in big competitions and big tournaments. And I think this is what makes Liga MX so exciting to watch, is when they want a player, they go out and buy that player. You saw with Monterrey, with Sergio Ramos, and you're seeing what he's doing in Liga MX. I mean, lighting up the field, also lighting up the crowd, getting red cards. But I also think Liga MX, which makes it exciting as well, you're starting to see it more and more. I know you said with the English Premier League it hasn't been as exciting, but I think it's because other teams are starting to step up and putting more pressure, like Juarez. It makes it exciting before the 2026 World Cup because it's in our own backyard here in North America, where you have the Leagues Cup around the corner in July, you have the CONCACAF Champions Cup still in action, and then you have Mexico winning the Nations League, and I just think it adds for drama, and who doesn't love a telenovela? I do.
Well, this is the type of matches you want going into the Club World Cup. Like, you want this type of competition. You want this type of confidence playing at that level, leading into whoever you're going to play going next, because you need to be set in order to make your mark. So I love it. We have to give a special shout out to Club America and their Pac-Man inspired kits.
Yes.
I love
me a creative kit.
A creative, collaborative kit. It's sick. The names, the numbers on the back, Pac-Man inspired, the yellow. I'm here for it. I love those collaboration kits.
Do I have a whistle this time?
No,
I
you got with your whistle. You lost the whistle. You're not getting the whistle back.
I feel like I should get my whistle privileges back.
No.
Either way, it's extra time. Okay. This is extra time where we talk about, where we let off maybe some of the things that we didn't get a chance to, really touch on during the episode. And I got to give a special shout out to all the Brazilian teams that are going to be a part of the Club World Cup this summer. You have Palmeiras, Flamengo, and Fluminense. All three of them first, second, or third right now in the Brazilian league after 5 matches. Unfortunately, Botafogo, 5 points in 5 matches, but again, it's just the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they got time.
They have a little time. They got the Club World Cup this summer. So even if, and again, that's not me trying to jinx them, even if the league itself doesn't go so much according to plan, they still have an opportunity, to play against some top international team this summer and still potentially win a trophy. I mean, if they were able to pull off, the type of run they had last season and win the league, then who knows what they could do.
I'm going to add a bit of extra time on mine. Eric, our producer, is going to kill us because I have 2 and I forgot to sneak it into the rundown, but it deserves a talk. So just very quickly, Olivier Giroud, his first goal in Major League Soccer. And his first goal was a golazo. Eric, roll it in. Just put it on the top box. All right. Now I'm going to move on. I'm going to stay in Major League Soccer. I'm going to stay in North America, my comfort zone with my bottle of wine, watching Major League Soccer on the weekend, watching myself. Miami.
I need to hang out with Caleb.
Yes.
We're doing tequila,
I love my
wine.
I love my margaritas. I like the comfort of my own home. Inter Miami staying unbeaten. Columbus Crew, Inter Miami heading into match day 9. Both teams, the last 2 unbeaten teams in Major League Soccer. And the Columbus Crew had plenty of opportunities under Wilfred Nancy. They played in Cleveland, where the Cleveland Brown players, NFL players play. 60,000+ spectators. This is back-to-back weekends where they've had incredible attendance here in Major League Soccer, and it's the Messi effect. And Inter Miami getting the 1-0 win, Benjamin Kremoski with the go-ahead goal, and Inter Miami remain unbeaten in Major League Soccer, looking for supporter shield yet again, looking to set the single season point records yet again. And it's just fun to watch. Like, everyone was ripping on Suarez going into the game, saying he's old, he's aging backwards, he needs to stop dropping into the midfield. And what does that man do? He drops into the midfield, gets the game assist for Benjamin Kremoski. And I'm just like, I sat there and I was like, my point was proven in the production meeting. Like,
Suarez
don't hate on the man.
Feeds off of that.
He loves it.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me.
I was just waiting. I went, you what?
All right, Kaylin and Elijah. EK, let's go. Let's go over to the EPL because promotion and relegation is pretty much set. Ipswich is the only one that we have question marks around, but it looks like Leicester and Southampton are being relegated yet again. But special shout out to Leeds and Burnley. Kalia Watt, JJ Watt, shout out. They're being promoted again.
Can we get them on the show?
That would be awesome.
That would be
definitely
sick.
could.
We can 100% do that.
We definitely could. All right, y'all. FA Cup semifinals this weekend. We are going to be chatting it all next week. Let us know what we missed. Get in the comments. Let us know what we should talk about. And stay tuned for next week.
Like, subscribe, and just get at us. Good, bad, or ugly. We can take it. We always read your comments, and they make us laugh. They get into our group chat every once in a while. So, Rich, we see you. Greg, we see you. And Samantha, we're reading your comments.
We are absolutely reading your comments. And make sure you don't forget, this summer from June 14th to July 13th, for free on DAZN.com, you can watch the FIFA Club World Cup. For free. Who doesn't like free? I like free. We love free, and I know y'all like free too. Make sure you continue to tap in with Through Ball. We appreciate you. We love you. We're going to see you on the next episode.